Here we are. We're going. We're recording. Can you say something? I know you're having trouble with the audio before.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, that sounds a little better. It's a little deep, but it'll work. So
Yeah.
what's going on? I know we tried to record last time, but that didn't end up working out. But we're back here now. I remember last time uh we were talking about being products of our environment and how we interact with the different things that are going on in that specific environment. um, so take it away. What are your thoughts on being a product of your environment and the environment that you grow up in, that you're around throughout your entire life?
I mean, so personally, I think life experiences they kind of like build you. Like a lot of people say that maturity comes with age, right? But I don't think that's always true because like it's life experiences also. Like sure you get more mature like as you get older, but that's because you have more and more life experiences. And I don't think like that gets credited enough, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll totally agree, because experience is the best teacher. If you never experience anything, you don't learn anything. And people, they have a tendency to say, you're only 17 or you're only however old you are. That's very young, but at the same time, how much can you learn in 17 years? How much can you learn in 14 years or 20 years or 30 years, right? Because you're still young at that age. You still have a lot more to learn, but you know, that's still a long time to be alive, you know?
Hmm. Yeah. Because like life experience, like I know that I've had a lot of like life experiences. I know you have too. So like, I mean, like I had a brain tumor. Like I've had one for half my life. Like I'm 14. This is the March 5th is the 7th year anniversary of my surgery. You
Yeah,
know,
how about you tell that story for the audience here? I mean, that was a huge moment in both of our lives, specifically you. I mean, there's a possibility that if things had gone wrong, you might not be here today. So, from your point of view, what specifically happened? And you might not remember all of it, but um, I'm interested to hear from your perspective, what was going on, what those few weeks were like leading up to the surgery, and when you found out, oh shit, I have a tumor in my brain,
yeah. At the time, honestly, I feel like I was a little bit too young to understand everything that was happening. I just knew I was in the hospital, right? So like I was the night before, like I was fine. The night before I had a baseball game. Uh we won the baseball game and that doesn't really matter, but I was playing baseball the night before. I had a week of migraines like leading up to actually going to the hospital though. So I got rushed to the hospital. They took like a MRI or a CAT scan. I was gonna get helicopter lifted to Johns Hopkins, I believe, but that was too risky because there was a big storm. Um, And then 3 days later, I had my surgery, and then after that, it was all recovery from there.
Yeah. And to me, you represent strength and courage, and you didn't even know it at the time, and you didn't have a choice, but you went through something that nobody I know has gone through something of that magnitude. Um, you had to learn how to walk again, how to,
Mhm.
talk again to some extent. Uh, you had to
Yeah.
relearn a lot of things.
I mean, I couldn't even dress myself, so it's just like that really taught me like how to be like thankful. Like I know that there's sometimes where I'm like I know that someone's trying to do something and that I should be thankful for them trying, but it's just hard to. But like that really taught me how to be thankful and grateful and all that because like I was pretty I wasn't given a second life. But there's a chance I didn't live, you know. I had to have a whole 14-hour surgery, you know. And if anything, the one minor thing I could have died, you know.
Right. One thing goes wrong and suddenly you're not with us anymore.
So that kind of, like I was saying with life experiences, that kind of set me up. That taught me how to be thankful and grateful, and that set me up for that. That was like a life experience in itself.
Yeah, it really was. And, you learned a lot from it. You grew from it and you're much better for it. Uh, and it sucks because you still struggle today. But I mean, look at you, you're only 14. Like you've got so much to go. And
Yeah,
back to what I was saying, that's not to discredit the fact that you're 14. You still have a lot to go, you know? But I remember the morning of your surgery was just that was a really tough morning for me, personally, because I didn't know, was he gonna live? Was he gonna die? And at that moment I was like, it hit me,
I
this
mean,
is life or death.
yeah. I didn't even know like half the time what was happening. I was only 7 at the time. That's just crazy to think about. I'm 14. I've had this tumor with me half my life guaranteed, and we're not quite sure if I was born with it or how long it took to fully develop. But that's just crazy to think about. That's been with me like half my life.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it is.
so,
What were we gonna say? Go ahead.
oh no, you can go. You can go.
So um you're probably lucky you were so young because your body is so young at that point and so healthy that you didn't have a chance to really, mess anything up. You weren't really old, you know? So you were
Yeah,
probably lucky that it happened at the age that it did happen at because you were healthy enough to the point where, and you didn't have, not enough, but you didn't have that many toxins in your body that we consume all the time to where you were good to go and you could, have a successful surgery, which I think played out in your favor that it didn't happen when you were 75, you know?
yeah, definitely. I would say so.
Um, so bringing it back to, being a product of your environment and experience being the best teacher, the environment that you're in, without a doubt, uh, there's an increased chance that you'll make it out, that you'll be successful, or there's a decreased chance, just because where you come from, the circumstances that you come from. If you have an abusive parent, then things are going to be much harder for you. But if you got two loving parents, it might be looked at as easier for you. So it's all circumstance. So what do you think is the biggest factor up to this point in your life, uh, to make you who you are right now?
Um, there's been like many factors, just like I went to public school, and like I got made fun of for my scar, like sometimes for like the scar in the back of my head for my surgery. So that taught me like someone's making fun of me for something that like I can't control. That and like my parents, just like everything I was taught with them and like everything that's happened.
Yeah, uh, getting made fun of, getting bullied is something that is, a serious issue because now it's happening where it's cyberbullying, where, people are shit talking to each other in the comments section on Snapchat and Instagram and Twitter and, Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and, the whole all the social media platforms. And it's really just terrible, for your mental health.
Yeah.
And then the parent thing is everything that your parents, the way that your parents raised you, everything that they taught you. Sometimes you have to unlearn that because it's not true, or it's not the best way to go about things, or it's not the best way for you. But that's just the way that you're raised. You're raised to be a certain way and to be in a certain environment and think a certain way, and then you have to take a step back when you get older and determine what works for you you know
Mhm. Ultimately, in my opinion, you have a choice in life to either benefit society or not benefit. And what I mean by that is you can either be helpful and like uh what's the word, like, okay, I most people know what benefit means, but like you can either choose to like help out and make things better, or do things for the worse.
Yeah, and some people are really lost in trying to find that balance because some people legitimately think that what they're doing is good, but really it's bad, right?
Yeah.
Because it's that whole, you were born into a certain life to be a certain person, right? And that, you just got to learn different things. So sometimes you have to be a bad person to learn what's most important and to learn what's good. You don't learn good from bad without experiencing it, right? Without learning it. Um,
Yeah. And then some people are also just misguided by whether it be from their parents. And I'm not saying that all parents are bad, just like anyone, like even like authority figures, like that you can be like misled by people. Like the news, that can be very misleading, like anything really.
yeah, I mean, it's all connected. You can be misled by anything. You turn on the news like you were talking about, and I don't know how,
Mhm.
and I don't know how far we want to, go down that rabbit hole of the news. But the media, the news, it's owned by five privately owned corporations. So whatever they're telling you on the news is, whatever they want you to hear, and most of it is not true. It's all, you know, all news is pretty much fake news. You can't trust what they're telling you because those news anchors are reading off a teleprompter, and that teleprompter is, created by the privately owned corporation who says we want you to hear this and this only. Um, so the lies of the
You
news.
ever heard
we're
of
we're having
yeah.
we're having connection
You
issues here. We're having connection issues here. I can't understand what you're saying.
uh,
You there?
okay.
Okay, you're back. All right.
All
All
right,
right.
you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, it was just cutting out for a second there. Um,
No, it's all right.
yeah. So, you know, the news, it's a trap. Um, so if I was anybody, I'd just say stop listening to the news. Don't watch the news. Um, but you
Yeah,
know, uh,
people
uh,
get heavily influenced.
what did you say? Sorry, you broke up again.
I said people get heavily influenced by the news,
Yeah, yeah, and it's a serious issue.
and they
Um,
don't like come up with their own opinions. They just go, "Oh, they said this. They said this. Oh, this person must be bad. That person must be bad. This is
yeah,
better for the world because we said it."
yeah, it's really unfortunate. What's going on. The war on truth, the war on information, and it's being controlled by a few people. You could fit the number of people that are controlling what you hear into my room, right?
Well,
Not
yeah,
many.
because you ever heard of the 13 families that like rule the world?
Yeah, 13 families, the Rothschilds, the
Rockefellers,
Rockefellers. Yep, and they're
the
and
Lee bloodline, the Kennedy bloodline, DuPont, Collins, Bundy, Astor, all of them.
right, and there are even people above those people that are telling them what to do, right? You got no idea.
Hmm.
You go up and up and up, and you think they tell you Bill Gates is the richest in the world. That's a bunch of bullshit, right? It's Bill Gates, the people above him telling him what to do, the people above them telling them what to do. And once you go down the rabbit hole, you find it's not just one rabbit, there's a whole family of rabbits, and there's a lot of nasty shit going on. And it's super unfortunate because, you know, it's hard to tell what's right, what's wrong. Um, But aside from the news, getting away from that topic, because I don't like talking about it at all. Um, it's really icky. But I forget what we were talking about before when we had the technical difficulties. You said aside from the news, uh, what did you say?
I'm not sure. I don't think I did say that. I don't know though.
I don't know either. So let's just keep going. Um, what are your thoughts on the whole 13 family? The families that rule the world, pretty much. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers. What are your thoughts on all that?
Um, I haven't. I don't know too much about it to be honest. I mean, I believe that it's definitely possible. Um, I don't. Yeah, I've heard these like names: Rockefellers, Collins, DuPont, Freeman, Kennedy, Lee. But I don't know like that much about it. Like I know that if you have more money, you're able to do more things in life because money can buy power, or money can buy most stuff in life. That's just the way that the world has became. Like one of the most powerful people in the world. Well, Bill Gates is one of the most powerful people in the world. God, do you see how much money he has?
Right. Um, and in the grand scheme of things, he's just a puppet. He's just saying what people are telling him to say. And he's an evil puppet. I saw this meme the other day, which is kind of accurate. It's like trusting Bill Gates with your health is like trusting Jeffrey Epstein with your daughter. It doesn't work. Jeffrey Epstein uh, has done some pretty nasty things with children. Bill
Mm-hmm.
Gates, he's developing a vaccine. He's helping develop a vaccine that is terrible for you. There are accounts of people just dropping dead after taking the vaccine, people having serious health issues after taking the vaccine, and it's really terrible. It's really not okay what he's doing. He's trying to manipulate humanity, and that those are the evil forces at work. But I believe the good forces at work, they're going to prevail. I know they will. They always do. But it's kind of you know it's good to hear that you understand that money equals power. You have money, you have power, but money is an illusion. Um, because at the end of the day, when money is gone, when you die, what do you take with you? Your soul. Your soul doesn't take money with you. Your soul doesn't take anything with you. Your soul goes back to the soul world to prepare for your next life, right? So the money is an illusion. Power is an illusion. I don't have any
Mm-hmm.
power over you. I can have money, right? Right?
Yep.
But this, right? This, just because it has a number on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
50. Wow, you have $50. Well, the real power does not come from having a piece of paper with somebody's face on it, right? That's not power. Power is what the higher power is, what God is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what power is.
Yeah. I mean, like I have $270 sitting right here, right next to me, right?
I don't know if
I
you should
can't.
say that. It would
Okay.
track your
I
location, come rob you.
okay. So I have money sitting right here next to me. Um, but that doesn't. Uh, I have money. Like I have over $100 right here. But I have to have knowledge in order to go and do anything with that. Like if I'm trying to invest in something, like you heard about the all of the RL Wall Street bets stuff, you gotta have knowledge in order to do stuff with it. Like look what Bill Gates did, and look how much money he has now, and look what all the things that he can do and gets away with.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
So you have to have smarts. Even if you have money, that's not all that goes into it though. You have to have smarts, and then that that helps as well.
You got to know how to use the money
Yeah.
to your advantage, and not get caught in a, you know, sticky situation, where you blew all your money, like Mike Tyson spending, millions of dollars on tigers, which is super dope. I'm gonna come out and say, I wish I had a tiger, but man, got to spend your money wisely. And he's making a comeback, Mike Tyson.
Yeah. You
But
got to be smart about the way you spend your money. Like you got to invest well. Like I'm 14. I have money. I just bought a pair of Jordans and a pair of Kyrie's. I bought like 5 shoes last month. I gotta like. I'm not gonna be spending money like that. Upcoming because I gotta be smart about it.
yeah, you got to be young and dumb before you can be old and wise. And it happens at
Ever,
different stages. So,
the
but
song "Young, Dumb, and Broke" by Khalid. That's very true. Like his actions made him go broke, and then that's like
yeah, yeah, you got to be young and dumb before you can be old and wise.
yeah.
And the money will come when you need it. It really will. Everything happens for a reason, you know,
Yeah.
and you take it as it comes. That's how it goes. I want to get your thoughts on this.
Okay.
Kodak Black. What's up with Kodak Black? What do you think? What do you think's going on?
The dude, um, what about it? Like the whole thing with in ex president. What do I call him? I'm not sure if I should call him ex president. I don't know how that works, but
You still call him president, like
okay.
you would still
Yeah,
call him President Obama, President Trump.
yeah. So
Yeah,
President Trump didn't he release him?
yeah. He pardoned him.
I don't. For me personally, I don't know what the big deal. I don't know what that's all about. Like, if he's in there for a reason, what's the point of just pardoning him? But
Yeah.
like, as long as he's
Well,
doing the right things, so long as he doesn't go back in jail, like, I forget why he went there. It's something with guns and some other.
what I'm talking about here is the whole like cloning situation. Like, was he cloned?
Oh, I definitely think it's possible. I definitely think that if he didn't get cloned, cloning is something that shall and will happen in the future once that technology goes that far. I haven't like I don't know. That's another thing. Like I know what that is, but I haven't heard about it that much. Um, but I think he could have.
Yeah. So I'm gonna show you two pictures of Kodak Black. Right.
Well,
There's
it's also
there's this picture,
yep. Okay.
and then there's this picture.
Hmm.
Two very different pictures, right? He's got a completely different tattoo. His eyes are different. His hair is different. Everything about him is different in those two pictures, right? He There's something weird going on, man, and there's a lot of evil stuff that goes on in Hollywood and the stuff that they get into, which I talk about in my second episode 2 with Brooke. I talk about the evils of Hollywood, but um, Kodak Black, I think he was cloned, man. There's a lot of stuff going on like that. A lot of weird stuff going on, man. You look at it and you're like, holy Kreipenheimer. What's going on here? Um, and you can get really deep into it, you know? Like, why the hell would you clone yourself? There are tons of reasons, you know? Are you still there? All right, you're back. You cut out. Did you say something?
Yeah, sorry. I don't What I was saying was I think it's possible that he was cloned. I definitely think cloning, if it's not a thing now, like if this wasn't actually a thing, like if it's someone pretending to be him, I think that it could it's definitely gonna be something in the future.
For
Colin.
the if you couldn't hear, Carter just said it's definitely something that if it's not happening now, it could happen in the future. That's what he just said. So, in response to that, I'll say I definitely agree. If it's not happening now, then it'll most definitely happen in the future. Um, One thing I will say is underground military bases are doing a lot of things right now. They've got a lot of technology, um, including cloning people, um, including but not limited to levitation,
Mhm.
um, time travel, contact with aliens, and I mean, what do I want to say next? Uh, Including teleportation, we'll call it. Their underground military bases practicing these things right now. They've been practicing them, since before the Nazis uh, came to be, when Hitler was building spaceships and talking to aliens. So a lot of this stuff's happening. It's weird stuff. I don't understand it. Um, but we'll figure it out in due time. You know, I don't.
Yeah.
No worries. It'll all get figured out.
Yeah.
You're having
What do you
you're having serious connection
think about
issues.
like Area 51, like aliens in general? Like, what do you think? Like, if I don't what?
I'm gonna translate that again. You just said, "What do you think about Area 51 and aliens and all that?" So personally, I believe that aliens exist. I believe that they have visited us. I believe that we have visited them. I believe the Area 51 is being used. It is a military base, but it is being used to contact aliens, and it is being used to do other things that are being hidden from the public currently. And I think that a lot of whistleblowers have come along and said a lot of true things. Um, this this former Canadian defense minister by the name of Paul Hellyer. Um, he came out and said that we have had contact with aliens and that it's been consistent. Paul Hellyer is his name. He was a former Canadian defense minister. Um, but there's been a lot of activity extraterrestrially going on. Um,
Yeah.
so what do you think about aliens? That's something I love talking about. It's a topic that I talk about a lot. Aliens, so
Yeah.
we're,
I
we're,
think that there's definitely some other life forms out there, right? I don't I'm not sure if they would be like aliens that you see on TV, like one eye, like a cyclops, Scientists, I forget what planet it is. They think that they found some like type of like life form like living in it's one of the gas planets, living like in that like the area like above the acid rain, like in like the particles of dust. I think it's what planet has rings? Mars?
Saturn.
Saturn? Okay, yeah, Saturn. Um they they believe that they found something living in those like rock, like dust particles and stuff. Like they believe that they found something in there or something like that. Um, but that's just crazy to think of. I definitely think that there's something. I believe that we might have had. Um,
Hold on, excuse me for a second. Sorry, I just had to fix something real quick in the room here.
that's right.
What were you saying?
Um, I believe that aliens are definitely a thing. I believe that I don't know if I 100% believe it, but I definitely think it's possible that we've had connections with them in the past, right? And I think that we will in the future. Um, I don't know that UFOs are a thing. Well, actually, no. UFOs are a thing because they're unidentified flying objects. So there's like planes and stuff that are unidentified, you know, and
Right.
jetpacks and stuff like that. But I'm talking about UFO like a saucer, right? I don't know that those are a thing. Like I've seen pictures, but you know how easy it is to Photoshop and like make it a good Photoshop. Like I can, like I know how to, right? So
Right.
I don't know.
Well, NASA did come out in 2020 and say that they have recovered UFOs.
Mm,
And there are blueprints. Hitler and the Nazis were building UFOs. Um, and it's all super weird stuff, weird stuff to get into, you know?
hmm You know, there was this quote of the day that I was, or thought of the day that I was looking at. Right?
Yeah, what is it? Give,
It's
give, give that to
what?
me. Give that to
It
me.
is character is much easier kept than recovered.
It's getting hot in here. I've had the heater on in my room. What were you saying? You
I
said
said thought of the day is character is much easier kept than recovered by Thomas Paine.
character is much easier kept than recovered.
Correct.
What do you think that means? What's your interpretation of that?
So your character, like that's the person you are, like how you act, like that's like your personality, right? And if you like, you know how like people are like fake. So
Right.
once you're like done being fake, like let's say you're fake to be with a group of friends or try to fit in or something, it's hard to recover being the exact same person you were before with that same character. So basically, I think that means that it's much easier kept because like your character, like you keep it, it's the same rather than you be fake for it, however long it is, and then you try going back to that, you'll never be the same person. That's what my interpretation.
Yeah, you'll always be who you are at heart, who you truly are. That'll never hide. Your true colors will always show. I agree. That's a great quote. I like that quote a lot.
Yeah. Do
Um,
you
what did you
know who Thomas Paine is?
I've heard of him. I've
Do
definitely
you
heard
know
of
who Thomas Paine is? He was one of the founding fathers.
that. Sounds very familiar.
And
Thomas Paine,
you
Thomas Thomas Paine, founding father, sounds very familiar.
yeah, do you remember the book Common Sense?
I don't remember that.
It was the first like book slash like pamphlet to advocate American independence like from the British.
Huh.
Yeah. That's what he's known for. That's what he wrote. I learned about that in seventh grade, I believe. But he was from England and he was a philosopher.
I'm gonna write that guy down. I wanna take a look at some more of his stuff. I'm taking a lot of notes on things these days
That's
and
good. Important.
researching and trying to understand the world better. Um, there's this quote that I came along recently, since we're talking about quotes, by this guy, Banksy. He's a street artist, graffiti artist. He said, The greatest crimes in the world are not committed by people breaking the rules, but by people following the rules. It's people who follow orders that drop bombs and massacre villages. So, I'll let that sit there.
Okay.
Uh,
One that I like. I have this one memorized. It's pretty simple, but it's by Gandhi. Um,
be the
it's
change. Be the change
yes,
you want to see in the world. Yeah,
yes, that's a good quote by Gandhi.
I like that one too. Another a word, a Japanese word that I've come across, the word yugen, from Alan Watts. I learned this. It means a profound awareness of the universe that triggers feelings too deep and mysterious for words. And that word really resonated with me. I like that word a lot because I feel like I felt Yugen a lot of the time. Yugen. It's Japanese. And I feel
Yeah.
like the Japanese really had a lot of good stuff figured out. So I've been writing these sticky notes and placing them in different places around my room. I'm really just filling myself up with notes and books and people and things. So I'm kind of flooded with papers over here, which is awesome. I love doing research and all that stuff.
Mhm. What about if you like you're walking, start hitting another one? What do you think about that?
What did you say? Sorry, you broke up again.
I said, if you don't like the word you're walking, start hitting another one. How do you interpret that?
You broke up again, man. I'm sorry. All right.
Um, so what I was saying was, this quote: "If you don't like the road you're walking, just pave another one." How do you interpret that?
Yeah, I interpret that as if you don't like the path you're on, choose a different path, go a different way. There's always different ways to do things. And if you live in your own head and create your own narrative, you can really, create your own path and trailblaze and do things a different way. There's always, a
Mhm.
better way to do things. I like that a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Th- this,
I
go
I
ahead.
guess Albert Einstein the other day, and he said, "I fear." I don't know the exact quote. This is. He said, "I fear that one day, we will be like overtaken like by electronics. Like that will like make our world, like make our society. You know,
Yeah,
and look where we're headed."
I think that could happen, but at the same time, I think nature will prevail, man. I think we're coming to a place where nature is becoming too powerful to stop. So, um, and maybe
Yeah,
that nature is us creating technology. Who knows? Uh,
yeah.
could be anything.
I honestly think that in the next like 15 years, there's gonna be a lot of like content creation.
Yeah, content creation. That's where things going. Uh, things are going towards that direction, majorly. Um, and that's why this podcast is great because it reaches more people and people listen to more podcasts than anything these days. It seems like everybody's got a podcast, everybody's got something. So I really think content creation is a great thing, great way to interact with people.
Yeah, definitely. Or just myself. I mean, I've looked into it. I think it would be cool to do personally. I mean, you can make money from it, obviously, but I think that's just like kind of a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. Um, we're having a lot of technical difficulties here, and I want to keep this going, but um, I don't want to have to keep pausing and going back and forth. And I don't know where things are at right now. So me and you are definitely going to have to do a part two sometime in the near future. But for right now, let's just keep it where it is.
All
Um,
right,
Thank you for your time. As I
no
do with all
problem.
my guests, I am going to give you the next however long you want to say something to the audience. Say, whatever you want to say, whatever you've got to say. The floor is yours.
Um, um, First off, don't be dumb. Be smart. Like about like most stuff. I mean, do what you think is best for you, and don't believe everything you hear off the internet because that's something that like is like not true. Like the internet's not always true because like I feel like a lot of misconceptions is, oh, it's off the internet. Oh, that must be true. Like there's so many mistakes in life, like all on the internet that we're just so used to like knowing that, oh, it's off the internet. That must be true. So my advice is don't believe everything you hear or see, and uh, do what you think is right, and be yourself. That's all you got.
That's great advice. Stay off your phones. Go out in nature. Go out on a hike.
Talking about phones, I haven't had my phone for the past like 2 months. I got it taken away, right? At first I was very like panicked. I thought I was gonna lose touch with everyone. I think I'll be fine. Even if I lose touch with people, that's the way life is. Who's to say that I can't get back in touch with them?
Yeah, that's how it
I-
goes.
it's felt good at some points. Sometimes like I miss it, sure, but like it's been good.
Yeah, it's good to take a break sometimes. All
Yes.
right, guys, this has been From the Outside In with Carter Reich, episode 4. We're on episode, no, are we on episode 4 or 5?
Yeah, we are Christopher Irving Klein, Brooke Reich, and then Jordan Cook. First
Yeah,
three
we're
episodes.
all right.
Now we're
We're on
episode 4.
episode 4. This has been From the Outside In, episode 4. Stay off your phones, as I said before. Go out in nature, drink enough water, be yourselves, love yourselves. All right, guys. See you later.